Hi, I'm Dr. Elena. Finally, nice to meet you all. One of the things I wanted to talk about today is the top 10 toxins we see in emergency medicine at the ER. So the number one, well, these aren't in any particular order, but a lot of times the number one things we've seen is THC toxicity, the marijuana, the edibles that the dogs like to get into. Some people are afraid to admit it when it's not any of us judging. It can be a little frustrating because no one really wants to overtly say they got into edibles, depending on if they're okay with sharing. But usually that's a pretty big one that we see on a consistent basis. Just tell us the truth. We're not going to judge. Other things are NSAID toxicity, like got into naproxen or overdosed on some other NSAID or got into ibuprofen accidentally, which things happen. So they've been seeing them come in pretty quickly for that. Albuterol is another one, the dog biting into the inhaler of the client's inhaler. So meaning, and then they get this like severe rush and high, or have a fast heart rate. They get very overstimulated, vomiting, diarrhea. Those are all pretty consistent signs with that one. Other ones, grape and raisin toxicity as well. I don't think a lot of owners out there really remember that those particular foods are toxic to them. They do not digest them well, and the system does not respond to them well either. So that can lead to kidney failure for both of them. Another big one is chocolate toxicity, especially around the holidays. So that can have multiple organ effects, and including, seeing seizures and neurologic signs towards the end, even before death, besides just issues with organ dysfunction or vomiting and diarrhea. Another one is onions. Onions can really wreak havoc on the red blood cells, so please be cautious of that. A lot of people cook with onions, so raw or cooked, please avoid. You get very sick from that. Another big one is rat poison. There's many different rat poisons. Some of them are worse than others, and cause a lot of clotting problems within the patient. So please be cautious about where you're putting the rat poison, and making sure you know how many blocks are out, and be more aware of that. And the last one is xylitol toxicity. So this is in your gums. So the coating of the gum, that's usually with the xylitol, and that can cause liver problems. Okay, so yes, you may cause them to vomit right away after eating the gum, but what's coating the gum, that's pretty fast in digesting it. So please be mindful of where you're stashing your gum, and any foods laced with xylitol are toxic to dogs. So those are probably the top 10, I would say, are the top 10, not probably, but are the top 10 I've seen in the ER, and just in general what we see. So big takeaways: if you have any questions or really don't know about which foods are appropriate to give your dog, please don't hesitate to ask your primary veterinarian, or even just message me. And be honest about them getting into your marijuana stash, please, just so we could easily treat your dog and move forward with appropriate care. Sometimes I had a client that didn't know. Someone was hiding it in the family. They did not know that person was doing any marijuana. It was based on our urine drug test and what I was seeing clinical signs and what the patient presented as. So sometimes it can be a surprise because, oh my gosh, my son or my daughter would never do that. Oh, my grandparents would never do that. But you'll be surprised how many people do. So thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I could always tell you more in depth with these toxicities and what to expect if they're accidentally got into something. I know that that's always something that can happen, and we always know we're mindful of that, but the things you can avoid as much as possible to save you a trip to the ER. Awesome. All right, hope you have a good rest of your day, and hope you enjoy this video. Take care.